We're very different from Group M. Group M is a behemoth. They're huge. And we're a small team, but we punch above our weight. So we actually compete with the Group M's of the world. We're only a 30-person team, but we're part of a global network called Residents. And we like to say that we're a creative team's best friend. We don't actually do creative, we do strategy and media. So similar to Group M, where they're doing investments and doing negotiations and Super Bowls. We're not doing Super Bowls, but we do work with accounts that would buy Super Bowl level ads. We do a lot of big tech and e-commerce and luxury and fintech. We like to say we're channel and vertical agnostic. And we have 3 teams. I lead the growth team, where we focus on tactics, how to reach people, how to define audiences, how to drive results. And then we have a strategy team who thinks about personas, who the audience is, what we should say. And then we help deploy media into the world. And we have a data and analytics team who measures impact, who shows what actually happened, did it work, and then we establish feedback loops to drive outcomes. We also have an ops team who helps place media, but we like to say we're a strategic growth partner, where we bolt on the teams to help uncover opportunities and insights that otherwise remain unseen by the giants like Group M. But the difference between a giant agency and someone like us is you actually own your accounts. At a global holding company, maybe you just do programmatic, whoever cares what that is. Maybe you just do some direct buys. But on our team, you actually own the relationship with the account. You own all channels, so you make decisions around paid search, paid social, programmatic, out of home, print, and you have full responsibility, full autonomy. With us, our bottoms-up support allows for you to make decisions as long as you can defend what you want to do, as long as it makes sense, and as long as the rationale leads to data-driven results. The reason that we love buying media is it's a great way to learn really quickly, get out into the world and understand what has happened and iterate to drive outcomes. A good example is an account we work with called GitHub. Maybe you've heard of them. 90 million developers use them. They mainly have focused on product-led growth, so the product itself drives growth. They never really invested in media, but after they were acquired by Microsoft, they wanted to reach enterprise users. So we help them define their IT decision-making audience and establish a playbook for how to reach IT decision makers and how to reach VPs and individual contributors through a strategic framework. And created a test and learn strategy for exposed markets versus holdout markets to show the incremental lift. Like, how do you know if media works? If I put a billboard out there, how do I know that it works? We show causation, causal impact relationship between media in the world and outcomes, so that we can show statistical significant lift in markets like New York and San Francisco versus other markets. And it really was exciting because we were able to reach these IT decision makers in contextually relevant places, like in EV charging placements, in the Wall Street Journal, in the New York Times. And the interesting part about this creative work is that, again, my team doesn't actually make creative. We think about creativity in systems. But the other teams in Residents, like Buck, who's the main design team in Residents, they did this creative work. We also have BT Pro, who does experiential. So not just like digital ads or print ads, but like experiences in the world, working with accounts like Gatorade and McDonald's and others like that. So we do work with these huge accounts, but we like to bring like a performance lens to giant global accounts, and then a kind of top of funnel brand focused approach to driving lower funnel outcomes for even small advertisers in e-commerce spaces. The big campaign we ran recently was Notion, a software company. The tagline was "Think it, make it." This idea that whatever you want to do, you can actually make happen in the world. And this was really fun because we did a campaign across Tokyo, Seoul, Paris, New York, San Francisco, Berlin, London, and we localized this campaign and flighted it all over the world to reach knowledge workers. And it was just really exciting example of the kind of creative work that we do. It was really great because with this account, we're actually working directly with the CEO of this $1 billion company. Our points of contact aren't just people selling media, we're working directly with CMOs and CEOs. So the difference at Partner Summit is that you can actually have influence and ownership over your work and make real impact in the world. This was like a personal, exciting project for me because I love snowboarding. We got to work with X Games, help them lean into things like X Games mode, help them grow their brand and lean into their social content that organically goes viral. We do some nonprofit work. This is another exciting project with a global impact, localized strategy across US, Europe, Africa, South America, Asia, working with the local teams because the Nature Conservancy is a global organization with these local chapters. So we get to do a lot of really interesting work with local organizations that have local presence and kind of thinking through the challenges of like how to manage a global presence versus a local presence. We get to work with toy companies, which I actually really like. I think it's really exciting to think through like how to reach kids because you can't target kids directly, you speak to the parents. And Paw Patrol is a really funny example of how toy companies develop content, and like the content is the app. Like the kids fall in love with the TV show, and that in a way is like what's selling the product.